Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Barbara Kaija, Mr. Patrick Kaija, and the entire family, thank you for honoring our invitation. And thank you for the many years you've given of service. You're most welcome. She's a mentor. She's someone who has served this nation indeed for over 30 years, maybe 34 to be exact.
We are here to celebrate a great icon. Father, Lord, we thank you so much for this great day. Thank you for this moment, Lord, to celebrate an icon, a mother, a mentor, and all so many things, Lord. Thank you so very much. The book of James chapter 1, verse 17 says, every good and perfect gift comes from above. Father, every good and perfect gift comes from you. Barbara has been a gift and is still a gift to Vision Group.
What you are doing was touching lives. Someone said she's resilient, and they say at a personal level, I thank Barbara for being an empathetic leader who understands that while we are coming into the workplace, we have personal lives that are not paused for anything. She has been very supportive through life's different seasons and challenges as I grew in my career and as my life roles also expanded from daughter to mother to caregiver. She has lived those roles, and watching her do that has enabled me to emulate. Another person says her leadership was about nurturing talent and instilling discipline. Beyond the newsroom, Barbara embodies humility and faith. She intentionally nurtured relationships beyond the office walls. She got to know more about people, their families, and cultivated bonds with them. She carried herself with simplicity and quiet dignity, never seeking the spotlight. We had a last session with her this morning, going through the editorial policy, and in that session, she took a moment to thank everyone for the surprise that was in the paper, but she was also very quick to remind us that that space belongs to the people and it shouldn't have been used for her. So she tries to deflect the spotlight away from herself. Someone says one word is principled, and if I can add another one, it is loving and humane. One of my most outstanding memories is her believing in me, even when I did not believe in myself. She encouraged me to take on tasks and responsibilities, even when I was afraid to, and held my hand until I could stand on my own. She's very observant and would call me to her office to find out if I have personal issues affecting my performance when it took a hit. And we talked and prayed through, and I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. She's a mother, and I will miss her dearly. Another one said, simply resilient. As a young editor, I approached her, telling her perhaps I was not up to the task. This was after several of the content and pages I thought were tantalizing were thrown back at me, that the pages either looked terrible and that the stories lacked depth or were incomplete. Of course, as a young editor, I always offered excuses, and indeed, I tried to pass the buck. The response that struck me most came in form of a calm but solid voice. You are on your way to becoming one of the greatest editors. Just work on these areas that need improvement. Also remember that excuses, however brilliant, will never deliver results. And all challenges have solutions. The biggest mistakes people make is to focus more on the hurdles along the way than on the solutions. Yet another person says she has demonstrated that excellence and godliness walk hand in hand. In most corporate spaces, faith is often kept private, but she made the fear of God honorable at Vision Group, both in speech and in character. She showed us that serving God is a strength that faith inspires integrity, service, and excellence. A key lesson from her is that it's possible to rise to the highest level of professional leadership without compromising faith and integrity. I pray that she finds fulfillment in the legacy of numerous lives she has influenced by showing that corporate success is greatest when it is anchored in God's purpose. Someone else said she's graceful. And they said, I remember being livid about things not getting done right for a certain initiative that we had worked so hard on to get approval by management. She always kept her cool. She advised me to always keep in mind that everything will work out in the end. Otherwise, I will make myself sick if I lose it every time something doesn't work out. I take this with me every day going forward. We had someone who described Barbara as truly a lioness. And they said her passion, dedication, and relentless energy for the job will forever remain unmatched. From conceptualizing bold strategies to ensuring flawless execution and meticulously scrutinizing every product, she consistently proved why she is the GOAT. Barbara, GOAT means greatest of all times. She showed up to every meeting, fully present, paid exceptional attention to detail, and led with remarkable humility while never compromising on authority or excellence. Her leadership inspired confidence, accountability, and high standards in everyone around us. For all this and more, I proudly award her the MVP accolade. Most valuable player. That's what they've described you as. And wish her every success in her next chapter. Then someone described her as a mother, a teacher, and a counselor rolled in one, and this is their memory. My fond memory was when we were tasked to go investigate Chinese massage parlors offering happy endings and write for Kampala Sun. She took I and the photographer aside, and like a concerned parent said, "Go right, but please don't indulge. If you get that, if you know, you know." That parental guidance stuck. We left that parlor intact and with her counsel ringing in our minds. Great lady. That's how they wrapped it out. Great lady. Then this person said, I think you'll figure who this is. Barbara Kaija has been the full package. She has been very resourceful as a trainer, leader, and mentor. Together, we worked on several exciting initiatives that helped transform local sport, particularly in university sports, motocross, and the use of netball as a foundation for advancing women's sports in the country. Under her leadership, Vision Group played a pivotal role in popularizing and professionalizing netball in Uganda. The organization consistently stood as a leading media champion and advocate for the national netball team, the She Cranes. This is a legacy that will continue to be recognized and appreciated for many years. One of the young journalists said one word for him was modest. And what they can say is she had such a warm, motherly presence in her role as editor-in-chief. Another person described her as dependable, and their experiences when she called, these are the words, when she called me at 8 a.m. to wish me a happy birthday as I was driving to work. I asked her how she knew, and she reminded me that she is a journalist. Another person said to use one word for EIC is an impossible task because of how accomplished she is. But when pushed, the person settled on the word luminary. And their description is she is a source of light in challenges, the parent and the pilot that has a fair answer to every problem. The memories are equally very many, but of how motherly she handles everyone around her, her humility and personal relationship with God. The most outstanding memory was when I went to her office about a case brought against the New Vision. I returned from court after the judge blasted me on behalf of New Vision for failing to take the journalist to court as a witness. The journalist had switched off their phone that morning. Bombastic side eye to that journalist. I narrated to her my ordeal, and she spoke to me, not as an advocate, but I felt like my mother was comforting me as her son. That was the last time I panicked over a case. It's a memory I will forever keep. Someone else don't worry, we're about to finish, but it's Barbara's day. Someone said she's not only a mother to me, but also an adorable spiritual brightener of my life. She shares a biblical verse to me every morning. Another person described her as a nurturer. They said the first day I walked into her office to be introduced by their boss at that time in 2010, I was fresh from campus. She seemed amused at my freestyle appearance, a mop of scruffy hair, damaged jeans, etc. And then she commented, "You remind me of my son." I immediately sensed that she was an open-minded leader. Someone said, knowing Barbara is knowing leadership. Barbara has been one person who teaches not only by talking, but also doing. She gives a good example of being disciplined and exercising duty as per the set standards. She's a great timekeeper. We shall miss her and pray that God continues to use her even as she pivots from the mainstream media. Someone said she's professional in every way, and for her, there's no room for laziness. She's a mother and a mentor. The person's experience is that when some big personalities in Uganda were celebrating 25 years in marriage, she entrusted that person with handling the layout. She told the chief sub-editor who was on duty at that time, and these are her words, "We need a good designer, like so-and-so, to handle those pages." So this person says, "I was on leave then, and it was a Sunday. But hearing those words got me to office on a border in 20 minutes to lay the pages. I did not want to disappoint her. She empowered me to be a great designer." There's a bit more. People who shared, I'm sorry, you'll notice that we had to edit a bit. As you can see, as many faces as here and as following online, everybody has something to say about Barbara. Someone described her as decisive, and she told them, your biggest achievement is to see New Vision attain a fully digitized archives, just like Rhodes University in South Africa. This continues to be my inspiration. And yet another person says, in July 2011, Vision Group, through Barbara Kaija, gave me a second chance when I was hired back as a senior writer then. Being fired is traumatic and stressful. I was sad, angry, and confused. But when I opened up to Barbara, she asked me not to carry bitterness, but prove myself worthy for the second opportunity. Barbara is not only an editor-in-chief to me, but a parent. My interactions with her allowed me to stabilize my life, and it also gave me time to process my emotions. I cannot remember how many times I visited her office over personal family matters, and we shared a lot. Barbara has shaped me largely into what I am today. I will forever be grateful to you, EIC. Someone said empathetic, and they said there was a time when I had just finished back-to-back projects, and she had noticed that I was spending most of my time at the office, including many nights. She took an interest in knowing how my family was doing and how I was balancing that too. She went ahead to guide me, and we spoke at length. And she said, "I want to meet your wife and children. Your family needs to know the people you work with. It will give them confidence and help them better support you. Let them come and I meet them. Let them come and see Jaja," she said. There are so many memories, many moments, and shared laughter. I remain thankful for the man I have become. She always mentioned that she was making me an editor. And yes, I am that editor that you made me. Ma'am, Barbara, may God's grace continue to guide you. This one I think you heard in the documentary. And the person says they don't have one word, they actually have a phrase, which is, she's the epitome of grace and a fire. And she remembers a time when when Barbara showed up at Shivuli CID to defend a story written under the byline Vision Reporter, and they wanted the information source and took her in for questioning, but she remained calm and graceful under fire, and they eventually released her. Another person says, one word that describes Madame Barbara for me, is motherly. And their memories, one day she called me when I was walking down Kampala, when I was walking downtown Kampala to offer guidance on how to improve a story I had written. It was the end of a busy and frustrating day, and the city streets were noisy. And I had switched phones that morning, and Madame Barbara's name didn't flash on the screen when she called. I don't remember very well how I answered the call, but I wasn't very polite. However, when she spoke, I immediately recognized her voice and felt very bad about how I had responded. When I returned to work the following day, I went to her office immediately. True to form, she showed a sweet motherly tenderness towards me. She told me not to worry about it. I hold you in high esteem and owe you a great debt of thanks for your support and encouragement. You are an inspiration to me, and I'm sure to many people in and outside Vision Group. I pray to God to enable you to live a longer, happier, and healthier life. May He reward you abundantly. Someone described her as a matriarch to journalism. And when they first met her, when they were young journalists working for a community product at UCU, they were feeling invisible at that time. And they say, I felt invisible at that time doing what I'd always wanted to do. But her words grounded me immediately. She told me, to succeed in today's media, I have to know more than just penning a story. I have to be a multimedia journalist. This lesson has shaped my career, from writing stories to laying pages to designing anything to TV and now to digital multimedia. Her words taught me never to be comfortable with one skill. And the final one says, in 2021, when we were brutalized by the military, I came to office dirty and bruised. Jimmy Adrico took me to her office, and she shed tears and failed to say a word. I was rushed to hospital, but what I remember is that she was touched by how we were treated, and may God's blessing go with her wherever she is going. Those are the words of a few people in the newsroom. Many, but many, many more haven't been able to share what they think about you. I urge you all to make Barbara's phone busy. Send her the messages, send her those words. Some she may remember, some she may not have remembered, but I know they will mean a lot to her. Barbara, as this chapter closes, you leave behind far more than a distinguished career. You leave a legacy of service, innovation, courage, and humanity. You leave institutions strengthened, people empowered, and a profession forever enriched by your leadership. Thank you, Barbara. Your story is woven into the story of Vision Group and the story of Uganda journalism itself. I wish you the best.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Barbara, Patrick, and your family, invited guests, CEO and EXCO, staff and all invited guests. It's a pleasure to speak on this important day when we are saying a very difficult farewell to our absolute best. I use the word absolute best. That's what Barbara was. It has been a humbling experience to serve as your deputy. And as I also prepare to retire in the next few months, I hope I deliver to the expectations, to your expectations and expectations of the company. I want to quote former Brazilian President Bolsonaro. He said, "There is no greater satisfaction than that of having fulfilled a duty." Barbara served above self, as we say in Rotary, and fulfilled the duty by offering outstanding leadership as EIC, and we are here to celebrate that achievement. She clearly understood the business. So your 34 years journalism career has been marked by humility, professionalism, courage, and a vision for the company. Barbara encouraged journalism that directly speaks to the audiences. That is public accountability and development journalism. That's a complete departure from what we used to do in the early years. We're practicing journalism of outrage. You know, something is wrong, something is wrong. Barbara says now, let's build the communities around the stories that we are publishing. And that's where we are headed now. She has been a hero of local journalism, and she always tells us to focus on the local people, the ordinary people, and their challenges, and finding solutions for them. I have worked with the 4 editor-in-chiefs, that is Pike, Els, David Sepuya, and Barbara. All of them have been great editors-in-chief. When I look back at my time working with Barbara, a few distinct words come to my mind. The first is that what I said there, ordinarily ordinary. What do I mean? She's down-to-earth person, whatever she does. She isn't just a boss who signs my performance appraisal or gives me targets, but she's a teacher. She has been my mentor and a mother to all of us. But most important, her leadership style has been collaborative and consultative, because nothing passes there without Barbara walking to my office or me walking to her office. We say, how do we handle this? All through the time I've been her deputy. That's how we have been working. To me and many of us gathered here, Barbara has been a master class in what it means to lead. Phenomenal listener. She listens to understand, not to respond. There are people who listen just to respond. First she listens, she analyzes the information, she processes the information in the head before she gives a response. That's a skill she has. But above all, as an editor, being calm under pressure is the most important skill that you must have in the newsroom, because there is a lot of pressure in the newsroom. But Barbara has been calm under pressure. In fact, mine is a different leadership style, but when I go to Barbara, down, 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 calm down. She also shows compassion for others and makes people feel valued and respected. Especially in an environment where you are dealing with deadlines, she has time to focus on you, the individuals, and your families. I remember I lost a brother in Nairobi, and took us like 2 weeks to bring the body home. But I did not even expect anybody from New Vision, because you know the policy here is always when you lose a dad or mom. But whom do I see there? Barbara had driven there with a tukuri. I think a tukuri is the one who showed him the route. Oh, he showed us, sorry. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Barbara wasn't easy. She wasn't easy on employees. She wasn't even easy on me. Very, very tough iron lady. Very, very tough. But as I explained, she does her thing in a calm way, so you may not realize she keeps guiding you and, you know. So she said what she meant and meant what she said. That is an attribute that a couple of times, of course, we had arguments on professional issues in the newsroom, but I would have my say, she has her way, and vice versa. So in many cases, we had those issues. But would always settle for the common ground. She has been very uncompromising on quality and always pushing staff to improve. and maintain high standards of our products. She has made us better professionals. But something that blew us all away, her adaptability to technology. So you find her always in our office checking her phone, then she updates. Checks the phone, updates, it tells you this is happening. So she has been very keen on advancement of technology in the industry and helped us to streamline our digital workflows and embrace the new platforms. One time, she deployed an editor to supervise the production of podcasts. So the editor came to us and said, now what is this podcast they're telling me to do? So it looks like the editor did not even understand what a podcast is. So we explained to him, but it was very uncomfortable, and I don't think he even went ahead and do it. I mean, she did it. So she never let the world outpace her. Now, Barbara was appointed EIC when there was a crisis in the print media. The revenues, circulation was falling, the revenues were falling. But together with the team, she turned this into opportunities, encouraging alternative, innovative revenue streams that have sustained the business to date. We're all proud of this record. We salute you for that. Now, editing New Vision is a daunting task because of the competing interests, especially during the tough political times. I've been a political editor from around 2001. I've been handling the elections and all the politics as a political editor before even I became deputy editor-in-chief. But those are very tough times. But what helped us, Barbara, I think, linked up with some guys in the US, so they came here, and they said the way around this is to come up with what they call the Citizens Manifesto. So you do a survey on what the people are talking about in the different areas, and then use that survey to tell the stories as these candidates go to campaign. So you are not boxed in a situation where you have to say, this candidate is addressing the issue better than this. So what we do is to have the story before the candidates go to those specific areas. That is the innovation of Barbara, and we salute you for that as well. Balancing commercial interests and editorial interests, she ably guided us, because as you observed, there used to be a Berlin Wall between commercial and editorial. But because of the nature of the business, the changing nature of the business, we had to agree to work with the Hope and the team, sometimes even go to sell these products, although it has damaged the journalism a bit, because, yeah, sorry about it. Sorry, CEO, but that's the reality. Some compromises have been made, but it has affected us a little bit. Yeah, so now we work very well with the Hope and the team, and yeah, we are bringing more money. But Barbara has been guiding. Please, during these tough times, look at the glass as half full, not half empty. So meaning you have to be optimistic about the situations. Don't carry negativity in the stories, and you drain your energy. So that has been our advice. And another one was that when you are not sure, don't run or air the story. And that happened until just, I think, 2 days ago, when she advised us against proceeding, until we got a confirmation from the authorities. So we have moved with that method of work, and I think it has helped to bring sanity in the newsroom. Unlike those days when we are fired up and you know that this has happened, you just go ahead and air the story or publish the story. Thank you, Barbara. Now, all these things she has done, she also encouraged us to pursue investigative stories. And this, we have only relied on one section in the statute that found a new vision, which says, clause 19, allows us to voice public opinion and criticism of a given government policy in a fair and objective manner without becoming an institutional opponent of the government or its interests. So we have used this clause, and I can tell you without any fear of contradiction, in East and Central Africa, it's only a new vision that is thriving. All the other government papers have either downward or closed, including Kenya Times, which collapsed during Moi's regime. So this clause allowed us to do real business in journalism. Investigations, enterprise, hard-hitting stories, you have seen them, and there are a lot of complaints. So when they complain, we tell them, you see, we're empowered by this clause. And we cause trouble to CEO every time we come up with these stories. The defining moment for Barbara was during COVID-19, when the newsrooms faced closure. She marshaled the forces to confront the issue head-on by integrating the newsroom, bring all the platforms under one roof. And this has been a success, although we are not 100%, but it has been a success. But also, she had her toughest moment, and it was caused by the HR team. That is the aspect of cost cutting and staff reduction, finance and HR. So we saw several talented staff go, leading to a human resource crisis in the newsroom. It was a very painful exercise because I could see from my office, but Barbara had to bite the bullet and take hard decisions. That has made the company stay afloat up to now because we didn't have money to maintain all the guys. So she built a culture of professionalism, trust, high standards, teamwork, continuous learning through Women in News. What she championed will surely keep us moving forward. In summary, Barbara, you showed us how to work with integrity and transparency. I don't think there's anybody who can raise a finger and say, Barbara asked for money here. Instead, you guys, you go to the field and you say, the editor-in-chief cannot take 5 million, he needs 10. We have got reports saying, reporters are going to the field, say, the editor-in-chief is very tough, he needs 2 million. Please desist from that. We have just taken you guys through the editorial policy, which bars you from some of the things you are involved in. But Barbara stood for integrity and transparency. Thank you for the mentorship, for the stewardship. You never just managed a department, you led a team. Now, there is a man in the Bible, I'm not very good in quoting the Bible, but you guys look for it. That man lived 969 years. He's the longest living person in the Bible. But that is the only record known about him. Living long. There is nothing else. What did he do? He didn't do anything else, just living long. 969 years. I think he died before the floods, these Noah floods. So you can do your research. So Barbara has left a lasting impact in the years that she has worked here. The other guy lived 969, no impact, apart from just the age he lived. Barbara has worked 34 years. You can see the fruits of her work. And we appreciate that. Thank you, Barbara. Now, I want you guys to stand up and we salute Patrick. And clap for Patrick. Patrick, thank you so much for supporting Barbara. I was made to understand you are the one who delivered the application here many years ago, 92. Thank you for being a great husband. Thank you, sit down. Thank you for supporting your spouse to that extent and supporting the journalism, the development of journalism in this country. By the way, is one of our very best critics. He goes through and gives feedback, real-time feedback. And I receive it through Barbara. So not many husbands can do that, because of recent we have had even ladies just leaving the newsroom because their husbands cannot tolerate the hours of work. So we really salute you, Patrick, for that. And with a Chinese novelist, it's called Daxin. See, you are the one who likes quoting these things. Daxin, in a book, the sky gets dark slowly. It says, as you retire, the people by your side will continue to grow smaller in number. Society will care less for you, and there will be many swindlers and scammers waiting for your savings. Barbara, take care of your savings. We wish you nothing but absolute best in your next chapter, but continue to offer invaluable support to our new editor-in-chief and also the Vision Group products. Just two things for Sydney. Sydney, you are stepping into leadership role. Don't be a manager, be a leader, because a manager maintains the status quo. You have found where Barbara has left. A leader improves. So it comes up with the innovative ideas and improves what has happened before. So choose being a leader. You are inheriting a depleted newsroom. Know the team's strength and weaknesses to assign roles. Pay attention to staff issues. People are not these machines. It is you, the people, who are the most important in a company. Clap for yourself for the work you have done over the years. I did not know how Barbara juggles multiple tasks, but this is something that you have to learn from her. She's in office, she's going to church, she's going home. Incredible, unbelievable. So, Sydney, learn to delegate. You cannot be everywhere. Communication with the team. It's very important that you communicate with the team. By the way, this newsroom has ears. The walls have ears. So sometimes you may say something, but it's already out. So beware of that. Adopt a winning mindset. When I was a reporter, my mindset was, sorry again, CEO, you went to Monta and Kemba. My mindset was, I must outshine the monitor. That was my mindset. So doing your absolute best to ensure that the products outshine the competitors. That is what we should go for. And then you should know how to manage conflicts, because in this company there are conflicts. So you should be prepared for that. Then finally, integrity is your asset. Don't lower your guard. We pledge, we shall support you, and we move together. Thank you very much. I wish you, Barbara, I wish you a happy retirement. Thank you, thank you. Yoga yoga.
Tukwebaza nnyo nyini ddala kyekirabo ekyo.
We need a photo opportunity right there.
Era nengera afande wamu n'omukulu Moses Ateng baleese ekirabo ebwera nga bakikwasa Barbara Kaija. Basi obugalo basaba banyabo tweyanzanya oyo amukwase ekirabo Sydney yamuddidde embigere, tumuwa obugalo basaba banyabo yamuddidde embigere. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Richard Kaira and Rose Chigongo.
Babo bazze.
Please hand over.
So obugalo basaba banyabo tubawo obugalo. Leza given.
And that's not all.
2 3 tusale cut.
Barbara, thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Barbara.
We love you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for mentoring the team.
Yep.
Download the app on App Store or Google Play Store now. Vision Digital Experience, the future of media.
New Vision TV. Stream smart, stream New Vision.